Hey, thank you for coming to the page and checking this out. So, I'm Steve Ryan. Nice to meet you. If you don't already know me, I am a singer-songwriter. I've been doing it for some years and have touched a lot of people. And now I've met you. And I want you to check out my music this year. And hopefully you like it. If you don't, that's okay too. But I look forward to you taking a little journey with me. Yeah, so Proud of Me. Um, that was a very emotional song, still is, and it's even though it was written about my dad, really Proud of Me can be for anybody, that wants to make the song about whatever they want it to be for. Um, yeah, I don't really know what to say. I just kind of started recording, but I think the biggest thing that inspired me to write that song is that I didn't realize until after he was gone how much he actually showed love through what he did. You know, it's just that when he was alive, we would clash a lot. Because his way of getting me to do something is to say, "Oh, you can't do that." Just an example. So with me being rebellious, I'm like, I can do this. But at the time, I took moments like that as negative arguing, um, when in reality, that was his way of expressing love in his own way. Um, I'm now coming to terms with it. I mean, it's definitely been over a year, and it's really, unless you've gone through you really, no one can really explain what it's like. It's so sudden. It's just like your life is going fine one day and then boom. And it gave me a reality check. That's what it did. It gave me a reality check, like, to make the most of our time. And you know but enough of me talking. Hopefully, if you haven't heard the song, enjoy it, especially the end. I'm shocked I made it in the studio that day, because when I was done recording, I couldn't talk. Like, it's almost like so much was, I had to zone out of my body, because it's like, it was just so much emotions. It's not just crying. It was just, some happiness, some sadness, the happiness of feeling like, okay, he's in a better place. And the happiness of feeling like, okay, you know, this man never did anything to where, like, when I was growing up, where we didn't have food to eat, or things like that. And it's just, I found out so much stuff about him after he was gone. Like, I didn't even know his own dad died at, when he was 10 years old. Like, it's like we were disconnected from sharing that family information, you know but enjoy the song. All right. Bottle. Bottle is on my Smooth Melodies album. That album was originally released in 2016. It was with this record label that later went out of business because the owners were embezzling money. It made the news or whatever. I'm not going to say their name. You can probably research it and find it. But I re-released Smooth Melodies because I was like, why should my music not be in the world, like, off of that album, just because they messed up? So I re-released that album, and Bottle is on that album, and Bottle is just one of those. It's like a pop jazz blend, but it's just, when your life is in the bottle. The purpose of that song was almost like meditative music, just to kind of like, when your life is in a bottle, then I got the background going, ooh, it's just real, where you're really relaxing. You have some water flow going. You just really just relaxing and chilling out. Bottle is cool. I like Bottle. I think you'll like it too. If you already haven't heard it. So, because I don't know who's going to see this video. So I'm just inspired to make it. Yeah, Real Time. That's one of my favorite songs. I really slept on Real Time because at the time that I recorded it, you know, I didn't do a whole lot of high and a whole lot of belting. It was just, I just want to stay in real time. You know, I was just, it was just so, it was like I was talking, singing. But I think during that time, like the day I did that song, I wasn't planning on doing that particular song that day in the studio. I mean, it was like live band and stuff there. And it was one of those days where I was just like, I'm tired of everybody being negative around me. I don't want to even answer my phone. I don't even want to see any text messages. It was like one of those days. It was just like everybody was being so negative. I can't do this. I can't do that. Complain about this, complain about that. And and that's what inspired me to write that song. I'm like, why don't people just be in the moment, look forward? Don't you know, like when you have anxiety, you're thinking too much about the future and what's going to happen. And then when people are depressed, it's too much about the past. And so sometimes, I mean, I have those moments too, but sometimes you just got to be in the moment. And that's what real time is about. I just want to stay in real time, going to look forward and won't hit that rewind. I'm going to keep going forward. I mean, it's a nice jam. It just starts out, da 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 da, you know. So I just can't help but love that song. I know it's some years. I don't know what year I released it. 2013, I think. Time is flying, but it's a good song. It's you can't help but just want to move with it. All right, enjoy. Don't tell me. Oh, what a song. I did two versions of that song, Don't Tell Me. I did one where it was like a traditional song with, multiple background singers. And then I did one that was just acoustic. The acoustic one is my favorite. And actually, there's this, I'm actually rewriting that song for a female artist. And it's going to be kind of hip hop-ish, like hip hop, pop-ish. Pop hip hop, and that's gonna be an interesting take in this. They've already redone the music and everything, and I'm like, okay, we jamming. But still, that original and the acoustic is always gonna have a special place in my heart because Don't Tell Me is like, don't tell me that you love me when you lie to me so easily. I mean, those are some powerful words. How many people have been lied to? You know what I mean? I know I've been lied to. I mean, and so it was kind of like a telling somebody off kind of song. Like, you think I'm a fool? I'm not a fool. I'm not your fool. I won't believe what you tell me. But then it switches from that to I'll be strong. I'll find somebody who's honest with me. And really what that song is about is like putting out in the universe what you want and don't just settle. You know what I mean? I just get tired of this love stuff where people think because of love you're supposed to settle. If somebody is not in alignment with you, and this is how I feel and this is how I live my life, then you can't roll like that. You just can't. It has to be in alignment, where two people are happy and they're not miserable. So that song is pretty much about, you know what? I got you. I know what's going on. You think you lying, but you just lying to yourself, not me. Adios. So that's Don't Tell Me. Actually, it's another song too, but I'm going to do another video about that song. Miracle of Love. What can I say about that song? Well, Miracle of Love, when you have somebody in your life, I know the words in the song makes it sound like it's just love relationship, but that's not the only dynamic. It's like it could be friendships, it can be family, whatever. On certain parts of the song, of course, the one that says I love you or fall in love or whatever the words say, that part is romantic. But the chorus of the song, you bring out the best in me, but you also bring the worst in me. I can't breathe. That that says so much. you know, it's just it's one of those things to where like if you don't set boundaries, people will just you over. you know, I think really with that song, it reminds me of people needing to love themselves. And that goes for me too. Like, I'm not sitting here preaching, but that's what I think. We need a miracle. Like, I don't know what's going on. You bring out the best in me. You also bring the worst in me. I can't breathe. We need a miracle. And then just that part, miracle, miracle. We need a miracle, miracle. I mean, just the harmonies. I love doing harmonies in the studio. That's one of my favorite things to do. Like, it is sickening. It's like I just love doing harmonies. It's just something about the blend, you know. And then that part just stands out. So that was a fun song to do. I actually recorded that song in Miami. That's what I did. 2018, I believe. Yeah. So I recorded that song in Miami. So that was good. Yeah, I want to talk to you now about this song called Truth. I actually did a TikTok video on that song where I was holding up these papers about like goodbye negative, goodbye this, goodbye that. And it was just a part of it's called Truth. And it was a part of the song while I was doing those harmonies. Goodbye, goodbye. I love those harmonies. I love doing harmonies. I really do. But that song, when I wrote that song, it was another song about, like, I know the truth. I know what's going on. So, like, even though I'm hurting, I still see the truth. And at the end of the day, once you see the truth, you can move forward and eventually get past the hurt. But that's what that song was about. And that's why even the goodbye part, I mean, those harmonies was in my head, in my sleep, like before I recorded the song, like the day before. And that's why it was so like magical, like goodbye. You got to hear the song. You'll see the part I'm talking about. It almost makes you want to just zone out. Or you can just go to my TikTok and you can see the video on it because I got it looping, where it's just that playing, nothing else in the song, but just that. Because I just love harmonies. So I think you'll enjoy it too. I enjoy it. So, and if you're here watching this, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to enjoy it because you wouldn't be listening to me if you didn't like me. So moving on. That song, is this producer in Florida that sent me a track. And when he sent me that track, that's all I heard. So I wrote those words. Like, I remember I was in California when I wrote that song. I was in California, and it's one of them songs like, I'm moving on, that's right, I'm gone. Like, and it's kind of like telling somebody off, but in a slick way. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I know what's up. Like I won't be how the words go? I won't be deceived, though your lies not believe. So stop wasting my time. Okay, I'm glad I woke up and I saw the truth today. You scumbag, you loser, get out of my face. I mean, I would hate to be the person on the other side of that song. Somebody calling you a scumbag, a loser, and say get out of your face. Like, that word is just timeless, like. But I'm moving on. You could tell I had fun on that song. I had really, really fun. I actually did 2 different versions on that song. Well, the first version was never released, the first one. And so what that producer did, which, I ain't gonna talk about that, but he ended up putting different music to the vocals that I recorded on the first version. And I like that first version. I really want that first version to be out. In fact, you know what? I think I'm going to talk to him about that. Like, release it now. Who cares if it's, that's been 2-3 years ago, whatever year, I don't know. But, the versions that's out now, it's okay. But that first version is something about it that was just special. Maybe because I did the vocals to it. But I think you're like moving on. Yeah. Easier said than done. That song, I kind of veered off into the rock, the rock element, because you hear the guitar going, dun, 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 dun. But I mean, I'm thinking about the lyrics of that song, and I was thinking about like, what made me do go through that particular song. Why did I write that song? I think at the time because like it was around the same time as Real Time, believe it or not, even though they're two totally different styles. But it was almost like, get off my back. Like you don't know how hard things can be sometimes. It's easier said than done. Like, because sometimes I'm guilty of making things seem so easy, but behind the scenes, I do so much work in this, and sometimes things be so hard, but I've always been good at not showing it. And now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, you know what, I don't even care. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be like whatever, and and set those boundaries. And but I like that song. It's I haven't really gone in that direction as far as that hard of a rock, and I know that can be a little confusing for those of you that like my other styles. But it was a fun song to do. It really was. And I might do some more stuff like that in the future. But I mean, that's not going to be that's not my primary style, but it was fun. So that's my take on easier said than done. So just the lyrics, get off my back. I know what I need to do. It's just a cool song. I think I love you. That's a cool, retro throwback kind of song. Um, that's just a feel good song, you know. If I thought about redoing it, but redoing it like a little bit more modern R&B, but I don't know. My take in life, I don't regret anything I've done, and there's been a lot of people that's enjoyed my music. I have grown a lot, and I have a lot of good stuff that's coming, a lot of good stuff that's coming that I'm working on. But I think I love you. It's the reason for that song is kind of like sometimes when it comes to love and love life, it can be very complicated. And when I wrote that song, it was just about people in general, because different people I was having conversations with, and they tell me about love and when am I going to find the one, or they think they found the one and they think it's going to work out, and then something happens and then they find their soulmate, and then after then it is never like 100% perfect. Not that anybody has to be perfect, but where it's always some issue, like great connection, but yet this happens, or two people fall in love and they just didn't plan it that way. So that's what I think I love you is about. you know. So it's a cool song. It's a little bit poetic, but it's really one of those. If you like a little bit of older style music, that's more live sounding, then that's a good song. So I think I love you. What's another one of my songs I want to talk to you about? Reach. Yes. How can I forget Reach? All right. So really, Reach is the same song as Reach Into Your Soul. Reach Into Your Soul was like on the very first album that I did. But then Reach was like a more funk, laid back, guitar version. And then I did like this jazz version. So but I'm gonna talk to you now about that funk version. That funk version that was on the same album that I did Real Time. And that guitar player, I need to send him a text. I haven't talked to him in a while. Curran Alexander. Oh man, he could play he just dun, 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 he was just on that guitar, man. So I was like, that Reach song, like he did it on the spot. I'm telling you, we was in the studio doing a whole different song. We were doing I don't think Real Time that day. It was one of the other songs on that album. And then I was like, and I let him hear the Reach, and I was like, it'd be cool to redo this song. I was like, you think you can play to something like that? And so while the original song was playing, he was playing it on the guitar. One take. So then I went into the studio, on the mic part of the studio, and I sung it. But it was just real laid back. Da 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 da. That's me doing the background on that song. When you hear it, you'll see it. It's just real chilled out. Just, so if you want to just feel good, check out Reach. Your Stare. I love Your Stare. I mean, it's something about that song, just the chorus part. That's a song. Now Your Stare, that was on the Grammy ballot before the nomination, because Grammys have like 3 different layers, like where you have one voting ballot, and then after that vote. So I didn't make it to the nominations, but that's okay. On that song, that year that I did that song, but it's cool to see my name on the Grammy ballot, the first round of it, because of that song. I think like the issue with that song, which I don't think is the issue, because I love the song. I love it even now. I haven't heard it in a while. I'm probably going to listen to it after I make this video. But at the time, all the music went electronic. And I have some electronic stuff. But that song was just really, piano, the drums, the bass guitar. I mean, it's a feel-good song. It really is. It's just, and then just the background, that was fun. I think it was 3 or 4 background singers on that one. And I even threw in some backgrounds on that too. So it's fun working with me, especially if you do background, because I'll come in there and do some too, I'll end up showing people like how I want it done, and then it's like, oh, I like that take too, so I'm gonna include that and mix it in. But I had to do that because every song don't need to be my voice background. So, but Your Stare, I mean, if you like that relaxing, chill, feel good, just kind of song, then Your Stare is your song. It really is. I like Your Stare. I'm not gonna sit here and stare though, so I'll see you later. I'm Still in Love. That song. All right, story behind that song. I did that song on the first album, on my very first album, and then I redid that song when I had all the musicians. Everybody was in the studio doing Boundless Moments album. So I'm Still in Love. It's another feel good song where you just kind of zoned out. Like somebody is just relaxed. Think about what makes you relax. That's that song. It says love, I'm still in love, but it's not even about like a person. It's about like, I'm still in love with life. I'm still in love with myself. That's what that song was about. Like, believe me when I say this is true. It's almost as if I was talking to myself at that time, because I was going through this very down moment where I was just feeling unloved. And now I've worked that out. I know why I was going. That's a whole different story that I'm not going to tell right now. But if I tell it at all, I might open up about it. But I don't know. I was just like a lot of self-doubt about myself. And I feel like I needed to tell myself, hey, I love you. Like, like it don't matter who else got your back and who don't. Like, I love you. And I think like we need to look in the mirror sometimes and just say that to ourselves. We need to, like, tell yourself, I love you, I mean, and that, I had to tell myself that. And then once I did that, it's like everything else just kind of worked out. So, still in love. Hi, this is Steve Ryan, and you're taking a behind-the-scenes look at Your Stare. This is one of my popular songs. It's having a lot of downloads, a lot of purchases, a lot of people streaming it, and this is a very, very special song to me. So I wanted to share with you a little bit of the footage behind the scenes on the studio. But I really enjoyed making this song because it just came together so naturally.
the music was written first. I heard the music in my head, at a simple keyboard. It was just, just really hearing all the chords, all the progressions, and it just touched in a certain way. And I knew that it was going to have to be like a simple song, nothing too complicated, nothing too serious, but just, keyboard, bass guitar, drums, just a real simple song. And it turned out great. It really did. Very, very special song.
For eternity, because you are the sun in my sky, and I want to show you the reasons why.
Is it major?
A major.
Okay.
Why? And I'll give up everything in this moment to stare in your eyes.
Yeah, so after the song was written, after the music was written, that's when I took the words and I wrote the words and the lyrics to the music. The song was actually inspired from a poem that I wrote, and the poem was a really nice love poem. And this song represents love. It represents seeing beyond just the physical. It's seeing the entire package, the mental, the physical, the entire package. It's like that connection, that draw, that deeper feel to someone. So it's not just, oh, hey, this person looks good, or oh, this person's attractive. It's more about connecting on a deeper level. That's what this song represents. And so after the words were written to the music, that's when I go into the studio. Now, sometimes I just go in the studio and we just wing it. We just do it right off the bat. Other times, like what I did with this song, Your Stare, I already have the music laid out and formatted, and I'll record it on different little recordings. I'll play out the piano part, the bass guitar part, and let the musicians know how they want it to go. And I'll play the piano myself, but a lot of times I'll get someone else to do the piano because I like to just focus on the singing and the writing. And with this song, what happened afterwards is we just went through. You'll see some of the clips here to where we're laying out the song and I'm getting the music laid out. And after the music is laid out, I'll do like some stretch vocals. What you're here is called stretch vocals. And after the music is done, that's when I go into a whole separate vocal booth. And I'm not sure if we have footage from that, but the vocals, if you've seen me here, was just like our practice booth, just to kind of get the song down, get it flowing more. So that's what you're gonna see there.
Yep. Da 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 da. No.
Oh,
We'll be back.
still loop?
Right.
Keep a loop.
Loop one more time.
One more time.
One more time.
Okay.
Before we go there.
Sorry. We're going. So basically, your intro comes before this verse. See, I didn't write the intro in there.
I'm glad you've gotten to see some behind the scenes footage about Your Stare and just how it was created. And